back to my channel. So today's video, I wanted to share with you guys the truth about studying in nursing school. And the reason why I say the truth is because honestly, for those of you who may or may not know, this is not my first go around in nursing school. So I've learned some things along the way, okay? And I just wanted to really share with you guys that when I started nursing school, I thought like, you know what? I did well in high school. I did well in undergrad. I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. I'm experienced, you know? But the reality is just like 2020, okay, that rug that you're standing on will be yanked, okay, if you are not efficiently prepared. And so I just wanted to share, with you guys some things that I've learned about the truth and honestly what you expect and just some misconceptions that people honestly tell you, and it's just not accurate. So if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Join the family. Pull up a chair, okay? And honestly, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up while you're at it. Make sure to turn on your post notifications because I am going into my 4th and last semester of nursing school, so I'm going to be taking you guys along with me. I don't want you guys to miss any videos, and comment down below if there's anything that you guys felt like you resonated with as far as tips, and if you have anything to share with me. I'm learning as well as I'm helping you guys, so feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down below. And while we're at it, let's get into the video. All right, so first and foremost, the biggest truth that I want to tell you guys is that nursing school lectures do not prepare you for your exams. And I know you're probably thinking like, Ashley, what are you talking about? Like, I spent 3 hours in lecture, okay? They exhaust themselves giving PowerPoint slides, notes, and all this stuff like that. And what are you telling me they don't prepare me for my exam? Like, what am I paying for? But at the end of the day, I would be lying if I actually told you that that's all you had to do was go to class, listen to lecture, read your PowerPoint slides, and then boom, that's it, you get an A on your exam. The reality is it's just not true. It's really not. And why do I say that? The truth is there's no possible way that your professor or your institution, your school, your nursing program could actually teach you everything you need to know in 3 hours. It's just impossible. And every exam that I've taken from the beginning of nursing school up until this point has not only been from lecture. No matter how many times I re-listen to lecture, no matter how many times I actually read my PowerPoint slides, that is not enough. It's just not. Ask any nursing student if they've taken their exam and the only thing that they've used was their PowerPoint slides. NYU, their PowerPoint slides are the most basic, vague. First of all, okay, their PowerPoint slides are the same PowerPoint slides that they've used for the past like 5 years. They have to use the same PowerPoint slides, right? So that they can, be confident in knowing that every year they're teaching the same content. But the truth is that each professor adds their own flair. So although they have their generic PowerPoint slides, I can teach the class and add my own personal life experiences and, have that. And then you have a professor that may not do that so much and just may be cookie cutter, straight to the point. But with that being said, it's like, you get the exam and you're like, I'm sorry, this wasn't on the PowerPoint slide, or this teacher mentioned this story, but this story wasn't in the exam. And so all that to say, trust me, your PowerPoint slides are the foundation and the basis of what you need to study, but it cannot be the end all be all. Please do not solely rely on your lecture and your PowerPoint slide. Make it a point to do more. That's why I always tell you guys to make sure you do extra questions. And that is my life. I literally don't know if I understand the material until I do extra practice questions. I can't say that enough. Practice questions should be your best, probably only friend, but your best friend for sure. I say that. And then also too, videos. I am a very visual person, and so I have to go out the way to find somebody else to say the exact same thing. I love Registered Nurse RN. I love Simply Nursing. I love Khan Academy. All the videos that you can possibly find on YouTube. And not only that, when you go to your Blackboard or your classes online and they post the PowerPoint slides, they also post other videos for you to look. Now, I know not everybody looks at them because it's extra material. Who has time for that? But when I go to study, I actually go back into that and look at the videos that they provide, because I hear it so many times from students, and I agree with them that when I take the exam, people are like, that wasn't on the PowerPoint slide, or what are they talking about? But the reality is, when a professor teaches, like a hardcore class, there's no way that they can teach you everything that you need to know. And not only that, they teach you, stuff that you should know for the exam, but also real life experience, what to expect, not just from the textbook, but in real life. And then also too, they teach from a perspective of like what you should know for NCLEX. So in your 3 hour lecture, it's just impossible to say that, that's all you need. Like, it's just not true. It's not true. If you think that that's the case, exit out of your mind. Another truth that I think you guys should know about studying in nursing school is that you need at least I'd say 4 to 5 days to actually efficiently study for an exam. I personally like to give myself a week, if not more, but the way life is set up, listen, you could have just finished an exam and you're like, oh crap, I only have 4 days before the next one and I don't know what's going on. And honestly, that's where it multitasking comes into play. But I personally am still learning the concept of, okay, I need to study for adult and elder and pediatrics at the same time. But for me, when I zone into something, I like to just focus. And because I know that I am that person that wants to study one thing at a time, I have to give myself, extra time. And to be honest, we've all crammed for exams, and we all know that feeling. We all know what it's like to give ourselves like 2 days to study for something. But when it comes to nursing, you are really doing yourself a disservice if you only wait like 2 or 3 days for 4 weeks content of lecture. It just doesn't make sense. 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in this equation. Okay. So what I really would recommend is giving yourself at least 4 to 5 days. And so even though I'll be the first one to say, I have crammed for exams and I have done well by cramming, but as fast as I've crammed all that material into my head is as fast as I forgot it. And so anything worth having takes a long time, right? Or something like that. That's what they say. Something like that. Y'all know what I mean. But what I mean is, the longer you take to learn the material, it actually sticks. I know when it comes to taking my exams, especially, for example, adult and elder, there's really only 3 major exams in that course. So there's not a lot of wiggle room to actually prove that you know the material. I like to genuinely do very well on my first and second exam, so that when it comes time for the final, I have some wiggle room if I don't do as well. Finals are tough for me because it's cumulative. We all know cumulative is just very stressful. And imagine, for my adult and elder 3 final, they wanted to they did put 12 weeks of content into 50 questions. So you're like, I could be asked anything from week 1 up until week 12. Like, it's insane. And with that being said, a lot of the material, the reason why I did well on that final is because since week 1, I studied to understand and not to memorize. And not only that, I gave myself enough time to understand and to study the material. I didn't cram the material. This is not like, your high school history exam where you just got to study facts. You actually have to understand what you're talking about, because even come the final, that same material, if you understood it, you'd be able to answer the question and not have to reteach yourself everything now in week 12. It just doesn't make any sense. So do yourself a favor and start from week 1 and start studying early. Give yourself at least a week, okay? Because I've been there, I've done that. If they tell you, if you have somebody like, oh yeah, you can study for this exam in 2 days, don't believe them. Because you can. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You can cram, you can do that. Will it be effective and efficient? No. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? You heard it here first or last. I don't know. Either way, don't do it. Okay. And just know that it's okay to not actually understand the material when you first hear it. I think it's very intimidating, and I know, especially for me, going to a school like NYU, you just feel like everyone is super smart and just everyone is just like a genius. But for someone like me that felt like, damn, like I just came from a program and I didn't do so well in it, and now I'm in this prestigious school and everybody here is smart, and you know, it can kind of be intimidating when you have the professor say something, you feel like they're talking in another language, and everybody's just like, yeah, and this cell did this, and yeah, pick me because this, and hypertension and diabetes, and you like, I'm sorry, what? You ever you ever been in a class where you've been present every class, you actually focused, you've paid attention, you've put your phone away, and you're still like, what language are you speaking? Is it English? Like, I know I knew English well, but now I seem to not understand what's going on here. Don't feel like you are the only one, okay? A lot of the times students are actually scared to speak up, and you may be confused and feel like you're the only one, but the reality is you're not. And don't feel like you have to understand the concept right then and there. And don't also be that student that feels like while the professor is teaching, if you don't understand, go ahead and ask the question. But there are a lot of students that I also feel like will raise their hand, and because they don't understand, they will act like it's their own personal tutoring session, when in reality, the professor's on a time crunch and has to get through the material. Sometimes for me, no matter how many times that instructor was to explain it to me that right then and there, it will take me a second, maybe a day, the next day after I review it again, reread, maybe go and review something and then come back and then I'll get it. But I also don't want to take away time from other students by like raising my hand a million times, like do it again, explain it again, explain it again. Be, you know, try not to do that, but also don't be scared that, oh my gosh, I'm falling behind. This is the first day, the first week, the first month. I don't know what's going on. The point is after that lecture, if you feel, you know, I don't know what's going on, I really don't understand, please take the time, if you don't have time that day, but at the end of the week, every week, at the end of the week, I review everything. I have a week long of classes. Some of the times I'm sitting in there and I'm just like, I didn't really understand that concept, you know. At the end of the week, I make sure to review because it'll be easier on me come exam time. So I'm not trying to reteach myself, I'm just reviewing. And it doesn't mean that every week I'm studying per se. It just means I'm reviewing, making sure I have a better understanding. So when I go back to it, I'm not like, what? What's going on? And honestly, that's one of the best advice that I can give to you is don't feel like you're the only one, because a lot of times people will tell me like, Ashley, like I just feel so lost, like I'm in this, you know, patho class or in this health assessment class, whatever class it is, and the teacher is talking, I don't know what's going on. Don't feel like you're the only one, okay? Also, do your best from the very beginning, because if you start at the top from exam 1 to exam 2, it gives you enough wiggle room for that final, so that if you don't do so well, it's okay. You still could have that A, you still can have that B+. But if you struggle exam 1, exam 2, and then now the final comes and you're like, oh, I need 110. It's like, come on, it's not fair to yourself to add that extra anxiety, you know? So make sure you keep that in mind. And lastly, don't feel like you're the only one that's not getting something. If there's some of these concepts, sorry, I just get so passionate. Some of these concepts in lecture are so complex, especially in maternity or peds or just certain things you've never heard before, or you can't grasp. Patho is a great example. In my patho class, there's a lot of times I would be staring at the professor like, I am so confused. But, you know, after I would review, I would go to tutoring, I would do my due diligence to make sure I understood after the fact. But don't feel like you're the only one in that moment. Don't beat yourself up about it. And that's honestly, in a nutshell, the top things. There's always more, of course, but these are the top things that I feel like are super important to know right now. If you practice these, you're already doing better, okay? And that's about it. And I'm so happy that you guys are loving the content. Please, I always want to hear what you guys are looking for from me, any video concepts that you want to hear. Maybe there's something that I haven't talked about yet that you're curious about. I'm always here to listen. But yeah, I am so thankful for you guys. Thank you guys for your support and your kind words. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe, join the family, like I said before. And if you're gonna do something, make sure you do it gracefully. Bye.